Yeah. This is Donald.
This is Tom.
We can't rhyme.
We can't rhyme.
What's going on, everybody? This is Donald from Has Many Wares. Thank you very much for checking out the video. Welcome to episode 3, everybody, of Skaggy's rebranding. Sorry it took a little while to come out. I've been working a lot. So before we get started, to get some formalities out of the way, if you have a question for me or Tom, you can submit it either in a YouTube comment like you guys have been doing, or you can comment on our, or send us a tweet on our Twitter page. That is official_HMW. There's always a link in the description for that. Do not send us messages via the YouTube messaging system. I didn't even know that it still existed until I looked, and some of you guys sent me messages from like 6 months ago, and I haven't read them because I didn't even know how to access it. So just stick to Twitter and the YouTube comments. But anyway, so today is Skaggy's outro slide, and this one's a little longer than normal, and there's a reason for that. Is because while working on this, I screwed up like a good 2 or 3 times working on this, and it brought up a topic that I wanted to talk about, is fear of screwing up, and also just learning to accept it as an inevitability, because you're going to screw up. You're not going to do everything perfect, and I think the time I spent working on this illustrates that point pretty much to a T. I talked to a lot of artists. I talked to people that work in different medias too. I talked to people who work in video. I've talked to quite a few people that work in photography and graphic design and all these sorts of things, web design even. And all of the new people that are always in those departments always have the same fear, and the fear is creating a product that is not very good, or a product that they've messed up on, and they're afraid of making the mistakes, and when they do make the mistakes, they panic, and they don't really know how to fix them. They just assume everything's broken and they have to restart. And I wanted to use this footage because you'll see me screw up. Like, I restarted this project 3 times, and third time was the charm. Thankfully, I feel like I came up with something that was good. But it really did bring it up that it's difficult. It's difficult to get over that fear of screwing it up. But something that you guys just have to accept, because I get questions from artists. It's like, how do you just know what things look like, and how do you know how to draw things, and how do you know how to color things? And my answer to that is always the same: I screwed up a lot. And a lot of people look at me confused, like, what? But everything looks nice. Or, I'm not trying to toot my own horn or anything. It's just what people say, like, like, oh, it looks good, it looks nice, you have an eye for it, blah blah blah, all of the really nice compliments. And what they don't realize is to get to that point where I understood perspective, color, lighting, and all that stuff, I had to fuck it up like a lot. Like, oh my god, if I could only record myself, set up a camera to record my face, maybe I'll do that every once in a while, just to show how you can tell when I mess up, because I get angry. I'm like, damn it, you know what I mean? But it's not like angry. It's not angry at myself. It's not angry at my piece. It's just like that, oh, it was going so well, and then you hit a hiccup. But instead of doing that after my initial, damn it, I screwed up. And after that, I immediately figure out ways to fix it. And this is just something that you have to get used to. You're going to screw it up. And what you do, say you're working on a painting like I am right now. It looks beautiful, it looks great. And you screw it up halfway through, and you're like, oh crap, do I have to start over? Before you start panicking and start deleting all your layers, resetting a new canvas, whatever the hell you're doing, just stop and look at it. Figure out what you don't like about it. I mean, I know it can be difficult sometimes. You're like, there's something off about this, but I can't put my finger on it. But you can generally tell wherever your eye is drawn when you're looking for error, that's more than likely the error spot. That's already, that's on it, because you're looking for it and your eye is going to be drawn to it. That's the beauty about things like paintings and stuff like that. I don't know how you would detect it in people that work in like maybe music or video, because they're looking at waveforms more often than not. And that's a whole other thing. But just look at it, and at least from a painter's perspective, whatever my eye is drawn towards when I'm thinking, is there anything I could improve on in this piece? Whatever my eye is drawn towards usually tells me where the problem area is. It may not get down to the specific issue, but at least I've narrowed down the painting to the problem zone, and I'm not just assuming that the entire piece is bad and just deleting the 1, 2, 3, 6 hours, whatever of work that I just put into it. And that's what I did this time. Unfortunately for me, my start was the problem, so I did have to restart the whole thing. But my point is, you don't have to do that every time. The only reason I did that was because I wasn't pleased with the way that I was laying things out, and that was my issue, was the setup. But once I figured it out, as you'll see, I start cooking, you know what I mean? I'm just painting through, putting in the details, putting in the lighting, and I get more comfortable with it, and I start, building things up and fleshing things out a little bit. And it's okay, essentially, after that long rant. It's okay to screw up. It's okay. You don't have to get pissed at yourself. You don't have to just trash all your hard work. Just look at what you did wrong and try to solve it. And if you can't see it, show it to someone else. Show it to somebody, better yet, show it to somebody who has no idea what to look for, because that's the beauty of it. That's what you're selling, at least in my circumstance, like paintings and illustrations and cartoons and stuff like that are going out to consumers. So if you can find somebody that would be a consumer, whether it's your friend Bob who, loves cartoons, have him look at it, you know what I mean? Or just have somebody you trust look at it to give you an honest opinion. And they'll usually help you either confirm, or maybe they'll help you realize that what you were looking at was wrong. And that wasn't the problem, but it was actually this area over here. It's beautiful. Critique is a beautiful thing. And when you screw up, there is no better remedy to make sure that your hard work doesn't get scrapped than to just critique it. Either critique it yourself or have someone else critique it for you. So basically with that, yeah, just don't let mistakes discourage you from doing good work. Just don't let it discourage you. I see so many young artists. I talk like I'm 100. No, I've been doing this a while. I've been doing art forever, and professionally, I guess you could call it professionally, I have been doing it for about 5 years at this point. 5 years? I'm about 5 years in, maybe a little less, but about 5 years. Let's just round it up to that. About 5 years that I've been doing this, that I've been doing work for people and stuff like that, and it's helped me improve a ton just based on that critique. And I see so many young artists who are not used to working for clients and who are not used to having their work critiqued. Whenever they do see a mistake, rather than sit down and just look at it objectively and maybe have someone else or a group of people look at it, they just assume, oh my God, I screwed it up. I can't do this. And then they delete it, and then they freak out, and they either get discouraged and they don't try it again, or they don't try again for a long time after that, and they start getting down on themselves and they start doubting their ability. Don't do that. Everybody screws up. I screw up all the time, and it doesn't get me down. I just sit there, look at it, try to come up with a solution. And also, I wanted to point out that on this channel, I'm more than happy to give critiques if you guys would like my opinion. I don't know if you guys would be interested in that, but all you have to do to get me to critique anything that you've made, I'll give my humble opinion on it. Just send it to me on Twitter. You know what I mean? That's all you gotta do. Just send me a link to whatever it is on Twitter, and I'll try to take a look at it. And if I get to it, I'll give you guys my honest, humble opinion on it, and hopefully it'll get you guys to the better spot. I can be that person that'll give you that honest critique, just so, you don't have that freak out phase that every person starting out does of oh God, I can't do it, and then you trash it and don't try it again. No, there's beautiful, beautiful work coming from people, and I just want to make sure that as much of that gets out as possible. Well, as you can see, I'm wrapping it up a little bit here. By this point in the video, I should be putting all the finer touches. I did, at the end of the video, I'll show what it ended up looking like, but I did make a few minor changes off camera, but the majority of the work was done here on camera. Just to see what it looked like. I can't remember how long it took. I want to say a couple hours. That sounds about right. I think maybe 2 hours and 20 minutes. And it would have taken a lot less time had I not restarted it 2 or 3 times. But it is what it is. And I think ultimately what I got is decent. And I think you'll like it. As always, Skag, if you're watching this, any feedback is good. And you're also Fadget and should delete your YouTube. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding, you Fadget. No. But that's about it for today's video. Like I said, if you guys have any questions for me or have something you'd like me to critique, send me a Twitter message, tweet at me, or leave a YouTube comment. But that's about it for episode 3 of Skaggy's rebranding. I'll be back soon with episode 4. Thank you guys so much for the support on this channel and on the series that I'm coming out with. I'm hoping to come out with at least 1 or 2 more series to keep you guys up to date and interested. But yeah, that's about it. So I will see you guys later. Thank you for the support, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Bye.